Okay, this is back to catch wrestling. Catch wrestlers hold feet very differently than other grapplers, right? A lot of people like to hold and control ankles. Now, it's quite easy for Graham to rotate his leg and get out of there. I can try and hold it really tight and do to try and hold it. In catch wrestling, he would really be wearing boots, which would make this 20 times easier. And his feet's not going to be too sweaty, and we'll be able to get a really good grip on it. But even without boots, I can still use some of the old catch wrestling techniques to maintain control of that foot. Now, the most basic one is just to get hold in the kind of toe hold grip. So my fingers go down the line at the bottom of his foot, and I grab my palm and I start to twist his toe towards the centre of his foot. Now, I'm hoping, as he tries to remove his foot from there, it's actually quite difficult for him to remove his foot from there. I've got a lot more control. And if you watch the Dean Lister Josh Barnett battle, this is what Josh uses a lot on Dean Lister. It takes away all the strength of this foot. It takes away all the ability to drive toes into gaps and put things in spaces. Dean could not recover guard, and the main reason why he could not recover guard was due to this grip. Yeah, Josh was getting this grip and putting it really tight against his hips. Once it's tight against his hips, it's very difficult for Graham to extend his leg. If he tries to extend his leg, he actually has to extend through his own tendons and ligaments on his ankle. So, for me, always think about controlling this part of the foot if you get a chance to control it. If you have to control an ankle, you need to back it up with something. And what do I mean by back it up with something? Well, in catch wrestling, if I'm controlling an ankle with my hand, we would back it up on something. So I would put it against something. Alright, so now when Graham tries to take his foot out of there, because it's backed up on something, because I'm pulling it tight against something, it's quite difficult to remove. It's difficult for me to work with, but at the highest level of leg locking, people use this to advantage. Graham does this a lot. You put his foot against your foot against his chest, and you pull his foot and stuff, and he moves with it, which means he gets access to that knee really, really easily. But all he's doing is he's just backing up the foot with the ankle with the body, and it just takes the base away from it. Okay. And the other kind of control I really kind of like with feet is the inside control. Now, this isn't going to lead to toe holds or leg locks or anything like that, but it actually makes his knee work in the wrong direction, okay? And to have fun with this with people with open guard, what they like to do is they like to point their toes, and they like to get their toes and have really good toe dexterity and get it on your hip and stuff. As soon as the foot goes on my hip, I'm going to catch this in a strange way. So I'm going to push and catch, and I hold it there like that. Now, if Graham tries to put it on my hip as I walk past, he actually pushes his own foot past my hip. Okay, it just ends up going in that direction. The more he pushes, see that it just goes that way. Yeah, and it's the opposite. It's not the opposite. If I do it on that side and he pushes, it goes that way. Okay, it's just one of those things. I don't know. It's just the magic of the body, I suppose. While if I do this and he pushes towards me, it's a bit harder, okay, pretty strong. While if I do this and he does it, he just can't. If he tries to put his foot on my chest, it just goes off in an angle. So try and add to your game some kind of level of foot control. Now, people will tell you off as though you're doing leg locks and stuff. You aren't. You're just controlling the feet. I use it a lot from guard passing into side control. So if I'm guard passing into side control, I will hold this foot. Now if he tries to retake guard and stuff, there's no guard retake there, and it's just awful for him. Okay, so go back and watch the Josh Barnett versus Dean Lister thing, and you will see him use a lot of different foot controls. Okay, thanks very much. If that was any good. That was good.